about the RAB. The DOD originally set up RABs not to go lockstep through the circular process without complete involvement from every sector of the community. And in terms of length of comments, there's nothing in the original DOD guidelines about RABs that fix community members' comments to 2 or 3 minutes or any other fixed length of time. I have lots of questions. You've not given me enough time to even ask the questions. One of them is, and please do not answer this, why are there radiation signs all over Site 31 fence? And why did you not have a RAB meeting about all the individual discrete digs you're doing all over the island? There are 46 of them. You didn't discuss them at all. Now, there is repeated focus in the DOD guidelines on reflecting the diversity of the community, the diverse interests, values, and needs of the affected community. The RAB is intended to bring together community members, and reading from the original guidelines, who reflect the diverse interests within the local community, enabling the early and continued two-way flow of information, concerns, values, and needs between the affected community and the installation. The DOD created RABs to ensure that all stakeholders have a voice. There was an emphasis on diversity. I do not see any Native Americans on this RAB. I do not see any African Americans on this RAB. I do not see any Hispanic people on this RAB, and yet these are the community members living on Treasure Island. As close as we get to diversity is one, no, Keith, don't sneer. Stop it. You're sneering, and I don't like that. I'm quite serious about this. In terms of diversity, the one diversity that I see here is Asian on this RAB. This RAB does not represent the interests of this community. Primarily, everyone here is Caucasian. You use technical terms. You have driven the community away from these meetings. I am the only community member here by a variety of techniques, one of them being this shortening of comments to 2 or 3 minutes. That's not enough time. You've been told about this time and again by the community members that are not here because they've not given time to speak. The DOD made it clear that this is to be diverse. You have made the RAB rules. You've made them up, and you have created these rules out of whole cloth on your own. They do not represent the interests the original DOD were asking for and mandating.
Thank you for your comment.
Yes,
Thank you
and
for your
I would
comment,
like to
Barbie.
have this responded to at some point, please. You have made up the rules,
Okay,
and I
Ms.
think,
Harvey-
Keith, you
Ms.
probably
Harvey, I
have made the
understand-
rules
I
up.
understand what your
And
concerns
3
are,
minutes
comment
is
are, and
not
I'm prepared to
enough.
respond to it
It's
right
not
now.
enough for
What I'm
anybody.
not prepared for you to do is to continue to speak.
Okay, well, I'm prepared to
Okay.
let you know that 2 or 3 minutes is not enough, in addition to which the DOD mandated that the RAB Board put together the minutes and organize the meetings and disseminate the information, not a private corporation like Tetra Tech. They are clear about that.
Okay, so Ms. Harvey, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to say, I'm just going to go through some of your concerns. First of all, you're reading the DoD RAB rule, which is very general guidelines, and it's in both the Navy manual and the DoD manual. Those are general guidelines. Each RAB from there has specific guidelines that are in our specific operating guidelines. We're responsible, and most RABs, in fact, every RAB that I've been on does this. They craft their own specific guidelines, and that's encouraged because that's how you would run a meeting, and that's site-specific. So I think you're missing the
Then
point.
why
I'm
haven't
quite sure
you
that you're missing the point.
emphasized diversity?
The specific guidelines
Speak about
need to be
diversity.
developed for for each board.
Your
When it comes
guidelines need to
diversity of
mandate diversity.
on the RAB members, ma'am, I'm not going to talk over you. I'll just adjourn the meeting if you don't allow me to talk.
You didn't give us enough
So you have
time.
a choice whether you want me to continue to respond or I'll simply adjourn the meeting.
Respond.
Okay. If you have concerns about diverse interests being represented on the board, then you ought to join with your fellow community members, because you cited yourself as a community member, and then encourage those community members that you believe would increase diversity to file an application and become a RAB board member. That's the way the process works
I'm
properly.
not interested in that.
Do not look at this RAB board and try and throw blame on any of these members for lack of diversity, or for the Navy for that matter, because it's a function of the process of applying to be a RAB board member. Now, diversity of interests and including all the stakeholders is certainly something that we do encourage. But we have here represented on the RAB currently 2 residents. One of them, a former YBI resident, who's a current resident, both of them are of Treasure Island, out of the 5 RAB members we have. So I'm not quite sure, and I don't know how to further address, and so I won't further address any more of your concerns about that, other than to say that the point that I believe you're missing is that the guidelines
I'm not
that
missing
you're
your
quoting
point.
are very specific and at the DoD level, are very general and are at the DoD level, where the specific rules that we come up with apply to this RAB are in the operating guidelines. And each RAB, as I've stated before, that I've been on, has specific operating guidelines. I believe 3 minutes is fair. I think we've discussed this at length. And I think when you look at a number of boards in the state and a number of boards that our RAB members are experienced with, 3 minutes is a very common time frame.
There's nobody
that's more
here.
than enough time.
There's
to be
nobody
able
here.
to speak. So,
There's no one here because you don't give them time to speak. This has come up again and again.
okay, Ms. Harvey, as I said, it's my turn to speak. You've had your 3 minutes to speak, okay? And so, with that, I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and I'll see the RAB members in October. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.